Happosai needs no introduction to RANMA fans. He is a perverted, lecherous old turd whose only goal in life is to grope women and steal their underwear. For the girls sick and tired of chasing and fighting old Happy for their panties, there really are only two ways to have Happosai stop stealing them, and in either case, it is a no-win situation. The first way is to travel to Djclyve, throw yourself into the spring of drowned man, and start a new life as the opposite sex. Happosai doesn't swing that way and won't steal boys' underwear. But if you value your womanhood too much to go that far, or lack the money for the plane tickets, there is an easier and cheaper way to get Happosai off your back. Go to McDonald's every day, buy yourself some fatty greaseball burgers, and put on 200 pounds. Happosai has very strict tastes in women. Playboy magazine tastes, to be precise. He won't touch anything without an hourglass figure, and as such, has no interest in underwear for overweight women. As previously said, it's a no-win situation. It all comes down to which you think is a better option, having a schmeckle between your legs, or becoming a walking landmass of blubber. But there is one untelevised character whose existence begs the question: are you really better off not having your underwear stolen? I've made no secret of the fact that I, and probably a lot of others, want nothing more than to see Happosai get his just deserves, to finally pay for his crimes against women. Well, suppose one morning after a night of one of his usual panty raids, Happosai awoke to find all the underwear he had stolen the night before had turned into pieces of paper. What? Then suppose it happens every day for a week. How could this be? Well, it turns out that Happosai had finally picked a bad spot to steal his undies. Deep within a secluded part of the Narima district lies the Sainokawahara girls' dormitory. Despite the fact that the dorm had been abandoned for years and subsequently had aged for the worse, every night Happosai struck, the building looked as splendid as it did when it first opened. The clothesline out back was filled with girls' panties and bras, all of which Happosai would steal, except for one. Every night the only thing left on the line was a pair of panties clearly belonging to an overweight lady. And every morning after, Happosai awoke to find his collection turned to paper. He became weaker and weaker every day as a result of it. It turns out, these were no ordinary jumbo-sized panties. They belonged to the now deceased former headmistress of the dorm. During her career, the dorm had been struck by panty thieves time after time after time. Students would often come crying to her that their underwear had been stolen, but every time the bandits struck, the headmistress's humongous panties were left untouched. You would think that she would be relieved, but that couldn't be further from the truth. For reasons only someone who's never had their underwear stolen could understand, after all decades of hers being the only panties singled out, the headmistress's heart became empty and unsatisfied. And when her time finally came, her spirit was unable to get into heaven. Not until that emptiness was finally filled. And it could only be filled by having taken from her what had never been taken before. So, to ensure that she would finally be satisfied, the headmistress's ghost put a spell on the dorm. Every night she would hang cursed charms in the form of girls' underwear on the line, in the hopes that her big-ass granny panties would be among those stolen. By not stealing the headmistress's panties, a curse had been placed on Happosai. Soon he will grow so weak that he will die. The only way to lift the curse is for Happosai to steal the headmistress's underwear, finally satisfying her and allowing her to get into heaven. But old Happy, with his shallow tastes in women, would rather die than steal those gigantic panties. Under normal circumstances, I'd be rooting for Happosai not to steal them. A world without Happosai? Hell yeah! Sign me up! But it seems that there is a catch. There's always a catch. Not only will the headmistress be unable to go to heaven, but neither will Happosai. Instead, he will become an evil spirit who will hunt undies for the rest of eternity. An old ghoul in the most literal sense. An ultimate undead voyeur. Happosai, the physical being, is bad enough, but he can be hit with a broom, doused with a hose, stomped into the earth. Happosai, the ghost, is free to watch, free to steal, and free to haunt Narima's female population. This has been a RANMA 1/2 character profile. Special thanks go out to Shampoo Hater for the request. This profile was brought to you in part by JW Studios, Shade, and KJ.